Welcome back. So if you want to study abroad and you do not want to spend so much on tuition fees, I recommend you check out some German universities because studying in Germany is really affordable. And what's really important is how you can actually get admission into those German universities, because there are certain things you need to do. Some of these things will tell whether or not you can actually get an admission for that study program. So if this sounds interesting to you, you do want to keep watching to the very end. So the very first thing I'll be talking about here is you checking out to see if that study program you're applying for has admission restriction or has no admission restriction. So if the study program you're applying for has no admission restriction, that means there are no limits on the number of students the university takes into that study program, and also the university is most likely to accept all students applying for that study program as long as they meet the basic requirements or the basic eligibility criteria, which is having a high school leaving certificate or a high school diploma or an equivalent. So applying for such a program which has no admission restriction, the chances of you being accepted is greater. But if you're applying for a study program which has admission restriction, that means there are a limited number of spaces available for that study program. And such study program, the applicants are more than the number of spaces, and they always undergo certain special selection criteria for such study programs. So you want to make sure that if you're applying for a study program which has admission restriction, you should make sure that you can actually meet up with those special selection criteria. And also applying for such a program, the chance of you being accepted is lesser compared to if you're applying for a study program which has no admission restriction. The second thing is you checking out to see if you actually have to pass through the student colleague before getting admission at the German university, because if you are coming out of the European Union, the situations in which your school leaving certificate or your high school diploma is not recognized, you will have to pass through a student colleague, which is like a preparatory course for a given period of time. And then you also have to take an assessment test, which is called the Feststellungsprüfung. After taking the assessment test and passing the test, then now you can apply directly to any German university of your choice and to any study program of your choice. So whether or not you have to go through the student colleague and also take the assessment test will depend on your university entrance qualification which you obtain or you got from your home country. It's always very important that you check out, find out if you can apply directly for your chosen study program at the German university, or if you have to pass through the student colleague and attend the preparatory course before actually applying for your place of study. So the third thing is a language requirement. Some universities decide independently on which language certificate they recognize for certain study programs. So if you want to study in English, of course you have to show a proof that you can actually speak that language to be able to study in that language. So it's very important that you find out from your university which language certificate they recognize, or if at all they can accept your English language certificate as a proof of a language proficiency. So it's very important that you contact the university to find out from them what language certificate they recognize when doing the application procedure. If you want to study in German, of course you also have to show a proof of a DSA 2 or 3 or a TESDAF. You can also show a proof of a Goethe certificate, C2. So it's very important that you check out some of these things, because there are certain universities that do not recognize certain language certificates. So it's very important that you contact your university or you contact the international office of your university to find out if at all they accept some of these language certificates that you have when doing the application procedure. The last thing I'm going to be talking about here is the application deadlines, because you sending your application after the deadlines means there's no way you're going to be getting an admission for that study program. So it's very important to know these application deadlines. Some universities, they set up their application deadlines for certain programs a little bit more earlier, so it depends on which study program you're applying for. So you do want to find out from your university what application deadline they have for the study program you are applying for. So for the winter semester, the application deadline begins early May till the 15th of July, and for the summer semester, the application deadline begins early December to the 15th of January. So you knowing these application programs for whatever study program you're applying for is very important, because all of these things will help you know whether or not you can actually get an admission for that study program which you're applying for. So guys, I hope you find this video helpful. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.